What is up, guys? Viper here. Um, Hope everyone's enjoying Path of Exile 2. I definitely have been. However, I wanted to go over the build that I have been going and how that is going. So first of all, I went Witch because I was really interested in the blood magic ascendancy, as I'm sure a lot of people were, and also as I'm sure a lot of people have heard, it's been kind of underwhelming. First things first, I believe that this should have some kind of upside. The life remnants is not enough of an upside to just kill yourself, you know? So I think, for example, if they did something like 10% reduced mana cost of skills, and skills gain a base life cost equal to their mana cost, right? So something like that would be a little bit better because at least then you'd be gaining something other than just this ability that you never get to use, right? I also really liked the idea of this right here gaining 10% of your damage as extra physical damage, meaning that pretty much anything can bleed, which is quite nice. However, I tried that out for a little while once I did my second ascendancy, but I wanted to be a little bit tankier, so I went ahead and took the grasping wounds. And for my third ascendancy, I'm probably going to be grabbing this just so that I can add a bunch of tank layers to my build. So first of all, I wanted to go over my tree, and early on, I was thinking that I wanted to go something fire related, and very quickly, when you look at my tree, you'll see that that did not happen. So if I zoom out real quick, oh, chaos damage, chaos damage. Got it. So I wanted to go something fire based because I felt like it would be really good, and ignite along with bleed seemed really good. However, in like Act 2 or something like that, or like early in Act 1, when I opened a skill gem, I saw Essence Drain, and I was like, ooh, do they have Contagion? And they do have Contagion. So I decided to go Essence Drain Contagion because it's one of my favorite builds of all time for PoE1, and it's been very bad for a while. So I was hoping that they made it better. Newsflash, they didn't. It feels fine, I guess. I don't know. It feels meh. Um, we'll get into that later. So first of all, on the skill tree, I basically just wanted to grab as much chaos damage as I could, as well as getting a little bit of recoup and regen rate for the Bloodmancer, because I feel like you definitely want a little bit more regen than just what's on your gear, and you want some recoup so that you can recover life because you're going to be spending your life for your spells, right? So basically, we went up through here, we grabbed spell damage and minions because we were using minions early on to cover for us while our ED Essence Drain did all the damage, and then we just grabbed all the Chaos Nodes. So all the Chaos Nodes, up here, all that. So we even went all the way down here to grab the Chaos Nodes. And you might see down here that I've also gone a little bit of poison. So this is a theory, not something that I've tested yet. I haven't gotten to where I wanted to test it. But if you read Contagion, which I don't know if it works like this in PoE1, because I never played the poison-based Essence Drain in PoE1. However, if you read Contagion, it says it and all other chaos damage over time debuffs spread to nearby enemies and refresh their durations, right? So if you read what poison is, it's a chaos damage over time, ailment, right? So theoretically, if you're able to get a Contagion, an Essence Drain, and a poison on an enemy, and all three of them are on there when they die, they'll spread all three of those damage over time ailments to the enemies around them, with Contagion ramping itself up, you know? Because in this game, it gets 3 times the amount of damage once it's spread to 4 more people, or 4 more enemies. So I am messing with the idea of going 100% chance to poison, and increasing my poison duration as much as possible, because the problem I'm running into now is with Swift Affliction and the base poison duration of only being 2 seconds. The poison doesn't stay on the enemy long enough to be there when they die from Contagion and ED. So I'm going to have to grab some poison duration nodes, like right here, and right here, and try to push the poison as much as I can to see if it would increase the damage, because I am curious whether or not that'll help the build feel a little bit better by adding another dot. And then I'll probably have to remove Swift Affliction, because the 20% less duration is just not, it's not feasible with poison as an only base duration of 2 seconds, right? So that's basically the passive skill tree. I'm going to be grabbing more poison nodes, and I might grab this if I have extra points, because the reason I haven't yet, even though it does look quite appetizing, like everything in here is like pretty dope. You get a bunch more chaos damage. You get some movement speed, and then also here you get like 50 plus increased chaos damage. The only reason I have not done this is because Blood Mage, you already spend your life to cast your spells, and you're already gonna be kind of losing a lot of life anyway. So the cost of losing 3% of life and energy shield when you use the chaos skill, which is literally every skill except for detonate dead, I didn't feel like it was worth it, but it might be. We'll check it later on. I'll also be grabbing these withered nodes just to see how effective that can be. So that's the passive skill tree. Now going on to the skills. Ignore this. This is in my offhand. So basically, Chaos Bolt. We're using a wand with Chaos Bolt. We're using Dark Effigy with Withering Touch. This is how you get your increased boss damage by stacking Wither. This will get people to max Wither stacks pretty often, especially hard to kill enemies. We're using Flame Wall. I don't really know why anymore. I just have it on there. It doesn't really do much for us except ignites, which I was using it as basically a way to add fire damage to my projectiles, but now that I've gone full like poison, I don't really care about adding fire damage to that. Then Contagion. This is the more important ones. Contagion was changed to be a single target ability, so that it only targets one person. So what you can do is you can throw Unleash on there and wait till it has its 2 charges, and you can make it target 3 enemies instead. So that's what this is here for. Now, I'm not a fan of it dealing 50% less damage when reoccurring because it hurts contagion damage, which in this version of the game it looks like Contagion is going to be your main source of damage since it's the one getting the more multipliers, like not Essence Drain or anything like that. We also have Persistence, obviously just makes more skill effect duration, and then we have Magnified Effect so that it can hit a wider area, and it does affect the spread radius. So for example, I'll show you real quick. A lot of skills will show you the updated numbers in here as you add skill gems, but this one does not. So like for example, this says 1.7 meters, that's base. If I take out magnified effect, it still says 1.7 meters. However, if you push the arrow right here, it shows where's the spread radius, 2 meters. So like you can see, it doesn't show it on the tooltip, but in the expanded tooltip it will, right? So then we have Essence Drain. It has Chain on it so that we can more likely get the enemy that has Contagion on it that's going to die. And then we also have Swift Affliction, like I said, and we are messing around with Envenom. Without Envenom, I was using the minion life steal thing where it would steal life from a minion to deal more damage, because I was running like a couple minions here and there. And then we have Withering Presence and Detonate Dead. Detonate Dead, I have Spell Echo on just to help clear. And Withering Presence is nice just because it gives Wither to base enemies, because you're not going to be putting down your totem for trash mobs. It's only for bosses or rares. So this is just there to wither enemies in the area altogether. So I thought I'd show a little bit how the build works. Like I said, it's been a little underwhelming until you kill your first couple enemies and then you can start detonate deading, because in this game Contagion persists after death, and you can either raise minions as poisoned minions or contaminated minions, or you can explode them to spread Contagion. So that's what I've been doing, where you apply your dots and then you explode a corpse that will go ahead and spread everything for you. So then you can just do this. Like, you can just literally detonate dead, everything dies super quick after you get your first couple of enemies killed, right? It's the classic Essence Drain playstyle where you have to wait till something dies and then you can start doing damage, right? I have no mana because of Mana Leech. That's annoying. There we go. Oh my goodness. I really wished that they didn't keep, like, there was a couple of mods that I really didn't want them to keep, and this was one of them because it's just so annoying to run out of mana. And I didn't think that they would keep the removes flash charges because of the fact that we only have 2 flasks now, but apparently they did, because a friend of mine told me that he ran into that. So yeah, basically you just throw in a Essence Drain, and then you throw out a Contagion. Once something dies, then you detonate dead it, and you can just do that as you go forward. It does require enemies, like, you have to rely on enemies' movement, which I'm not a huge fan of. But normally, if the enemies are too far away for your detonate dead to go through, I will just curse them, and then I'll go ahead and restart the process. But yeah, that's basically it. Whenever it comes to gear, I don't have any good gear, so I'm not really going to show it. The only thing I was going to say is you want plus level of all chaos spell gems, you want increased spell damage and chaos damage, and then maybe crit at some point if the poison turns out to work well, because poison scales off of the hit that was done. So if you crit, you'll deal more poison damage. Um, so maybe that, but I would say just try to get your resistances and your life up, and then if you can fit it somewhere, chaos spell skills, chaos damage, spell damage. Um, but yeah, that's basically it. I've been having so much fun with PoE2. Hope you guys have been as well. Let me know what you guys are playing, and let me know if you want to see more of this. Thanks.